Remind me.
Sure.
Good evening. Thanks for coming out, being punctual here. Certainly appreciate it. You have a time slot of approximately 30 minutes. We'll set a timer for 25 seconds off. We need to wrap things up as we have other presenters as well. We are live this evening. One of our new things is to broadcast this for folks. So please make sure you identify yourself, identify who you're with, and what you are supporting. So whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'm George Connor, Executive Director of the Dauphin County Redevelopment Authority.
David Cahill, Chancellor and Dean at Penn State Harrisburg.
So we're going to talk about our Dauphin County Redevelopment Authority first. Our request is for $250,000, and that's for the Redevelopment Authority and our Dauphin County Land Bank, both authorities. So just to make this easy and quick, to conserve time, I just want to talk about 3 projects. These are public-private partnership projects that we've done in the past. It's kind of going to go into the segue of the Chancellor. So the first project we've done is called the Likens Hotel. This was a 100-year-old vacant, blighted structure up in Likens. When I started here in 2002, Likens had contacted me to try to come up and see if there was any development that we possibly could do there. It took us about 10 years to get this developed. We had multiple different developers go in. They couldn't see the need or make the numbers work on the construction, the renovations to get it up and running. We found a company in Rochester, New York, called Home Leasing. They came in. We utilized our tools in our shed. We have a lot of different tools in our shed with different grants and things of that nature. We used the Community Development Block Grant Program to purchase the hotel and the pharmacy across the street. We renovated. It was an $11.4 million low-income tax credit deal, historical tax credit deal, PHFA, and it filled up immediately. It was occupied, and I think before it opened. It was 29 total units, so that was a nice public-private partnership that we did. The second one we've done a lot of projects, but these are just, I'm highlighting the projects that I love, close to dear to me, because, we were involved in them. This is a Hummelstown building, Hummelstown Municipal Building and Police Station. Hummelstown built a brand new facility about a mile down the road, right next to the middle school. The borough manager came to me and said, hey, can you guys help us with this? Because we want to be able to try to see some development or something in there that is going to work for us. They didn't want to just bid it out and take the highest bidder and kind of not control what the end use was going to be. They sold it to the Redevelopment Authority for $1, and the house next to it as well. We did an RFP process, and we came up with Rubber Soul. Rubber Soul went in, demolished interior, demolished the old municipal building and police station. And if you've ever been to Rubber Soul, if you haven't been there, please go down. It's a beautiful facility, brewery down there, and it's doing very well. They opened in 2020 during COVID, which they made it. I mean, they're still in business, it's still doing well, and this was a great project for us. And we utilized some of our EPA dollars as well to do some ESA Phase 1 and Phase 2 assessments in the building.
So,
Yes, sir.
George, for that specific project, there's 2 properties there that were not on the tax rolls that are now on the tax rolls.
That's correct. That's a great point, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, both of those properties were not on the tax roll, obviously, because they were owned by the borough. Now they're on the tax roll paying taxes, and they're generating more income for the borough. Last project was a really large project for us. It was a 5-acre site down in Stilton on Front Street. Basically, there were older structures there, gas stations, maintenance, mechanic shops. There's a lot of environmental hazard issues down there. We used our EPA dollars. We received the EPA Brownsfield grant for, well, this one I think was $300,000. We currently have one for $500,000. We did Phase 1, Phase 2 ESAs. We did some site testing and cleared the land. We weren't really involved in a lot of the demolition in this particular project, but you can see now the borough then took the 5.8 acres, deeded it over to the Redevelopment Authority, and we helped develop the project. We did an RFP process once again, hired Steelworks Development. They developed the site, and currently it's doing great. Hamilton Health Center is just completed. Dollar General's there as well, and Senior Life. there's also 149 apartments that are on the parcel as well. So great project, and that's the kind of public-private partnership that our redevelopment authority does. And we do good projects, and we get a lot of good things done in the community, and we're here, we're open for business. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're talking kind of quick. Did I hear you say that was a brownfield site? as
Yes,
well?
yes.
Okay.
Because there was multiple different businesses there that had oil tanks in the ground, you had gasoline tanks, oil tanks, other different deficiencies that would constitute for a brownfield site. Take it over, sir.
So, and thank you, George. And so this is, very happy to be here and thank you. So we're now in entering our fourth year of partnership with the Dauphin County Redevelopment Authority. And originally the goal was to create a partnership fund that would allow Penn State Harrisburg to use its ability to garner grants to create and increase economic development, job creation, and training in the region. So in our 3 years, we have used the previous gaming grants to solicit and receive over $1 million in grants. And I'll highlight two big ones that are currently ongoing from labor and industry. We have a program that's training direct healthcare workers to identify and work with patients who are facing addictions, and how to identify addictions and get them help, which, as you know, is a big issue. The second, another program that we're working with we're currently working with is to train healthcare workers to work with police officers around mental health issues. And one that it's just launched now in January, which was use some of the gaming money, is funded through Penn State Health, and it'll be funded, we should receive a grant pretty soon, but is to increase EMT workers and create a pathways from EMT to advanced EMT to paramedic for the region, because that's a huge shortage in the region. So we historically have worked on this. Our partnership has really been focused to take regional economic development needs and knowledge and of the redevelopment authority with our knowledge of continuing education, and kind of develop programs that drive jobs to the region for a variety of reasons. So one of the areas that we've identified over the past couple of years is really this space between technology and health. And so over the past year, in partnership with the college, Penn State College of Medicine and Penn State Harrisburg, our engineering capacity, we've been working and developing something we were calling an innovation ecosphere to develop a smart medical technology hub. And it's based on Stanford's concept. So one of the areas that really needs to grow, and we see ourselves becoming a leader across the state, is in the growth and development of smart technology for medical products. So think about this. Think about when you break your arm, you have a plate put in you, right? So how do you build the best plate so it allows you to continue to be mobile, but then you embed it with technology that collects data that allows you to then improve that and improve the lifestyle of that. Historically, this has been done in small labs. So our project that we're proposing, that we've been working on, starting construction, and we're working with some funding already, is to build a central place that will allow the clinician who comes up with a problem to work with an engineer who can build equipment or something to make that work, right? So let's say something as simple as for people who are post-op, who have issue with walking, can you build an insert that allows them to measure their step, that allows you to collect the data so you can get them to the right kind of therapy, right? Or another one that we're talking about is with ocular degeneration. So put a small device that collect data. So those trials can then lead to faster creation of the product to market. So think about the reduction of time, especially with the federal laws. So tied to this is the manufacturing of some of these small devices, right? So they're small, they're smart. And then part of it is, our goal was to build a central place where we can leverage Penn State's knowledge plus the economic development power of the county to kind of bring in entrepreneurs at a base level, and then spin off some of these companies. The second part that we're realizing is where the key is in terms of job creation. So even this technology requires upskilling of labor to be able to work on this, right? So we think about the product and we're all excited about the doctor, the engineer, but somebody's got to be able to figure out how to collect the data, build around this. So the idea is to attract manufacturers to this area. As such, we're partnering not only with the College of Medicine at Penn State and us, Penn State Harrisburg, but also Penn College, because they're able to, because of their facilities and their students are able to work around some of the manufacturing piece. And then the last piece in this is how do you then help entrepreneurs who want to move to this area in this critical space where it allows Harrisburg and this greater region to be competitive versus Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, which is these smart medical devices that are manufactured that are smaller. So since we submitted this, we've been able to already garner some support, financial. We are currently working to start with an entrepreneur in residence that's going to help solicit some of these investments. We have a project manager, and this is being covered by both of us. And we've already started some of the construction in the space. We have a space dedicated to it at Penn State Harrisburg that will allow people to just come in and work. So it doesn't matter if it's a student that's working on this that is able to develop the technology, all the way to somebody that's trying to build a company. So the reason that the money would be really important to us is we can do the construction, the architecture, and a lot of other things. But what really is the key is building out the study for the upscaling. So how do you scale this project up? And so we would use this money to look at what areas of continuing education do we invest in to build this out, right? So in a sense, what health tech areas do we need to really build this? And one area we're talking about outside is the growth and the need for things like sterile technicians who work with sterile equipment. So this is something that we would then upskill in that space. The other piece with that is how do we then leverage that? If you think about it as a transition point, right? When somebody comes in with an idea, a doctor has an idea, hey, most of my patients need this kind of, how do we get that work? How do we get them with the right engineers? How do we find the right investors? And then the goal is to attract them to the region, to be able to then spin that off through licensing and through intellectual property, right? To someone that can take it to market, which will allow that money to stay in the region, and even some of the manufacturing to stay in the region. And the reason we find it really interesting is we're only 5.5 miles apart between us and College of Medicine, but we also have a great place, which is the Middletown area, where actually you can bring in some of these small companies to actually be there, and they would be close to both of us. So that's kind of the idea, but
This is great.
But the big thing for us is that we're very limited in that space that I'm talking about. So this money serves us really well because it allows us to pivot and hire consultants that are able to show us how, hey, here's an idea. How do we get this to market? How do we get this faster? And so that's kind of has been our goal. So this is, if you think about our relationship, this is the next transition space, right? We started with something very focused around economic development, kind of from an engineering point of view. We realized that the space that was really needed in this area was with the aging homes and the aging population, somewhere around health. So we developed a couple of programs around smart homes using some of the monies. And then we realized in that space, as we were doing that those who were servicing or providing services to those people, right? So your CNAs, right? Your home healthcare work, that's the hard one to say, didn't have the right training to understand things like addiction, right? Or mental health. And so the patient, how do we then get that patient to the right kind of medical doctor or service that allows them to live a better and longer life and a better quality of life? And then, so that's how we moved into these grants with labor and industry. And we used the money to pay a consultant was able to write these grants. And now we're seeing the return on that, which is now we're seeing a very real partnership with Penn State Penn State College of Medicine and us to really move into this EMT space and a whole pathway for people. So if you think about the EMT, if you think about an $18 an hour job, right? Moving to an EMT that not only does it pay well, but it also creates a pathway where you go from EMT to tech to paramedic. And so it really does have a huge shift in that. And working in a health system, that it does provide even that person the ability to do things like, for example, tuition reimbursement and jobs. And so if you think about it from an economic development point of view, we're now providing kind of long-term career positions for folks who normally, for whatever reason, don't have an opportunity to get to these jobs. So it's really an entry level. So we're seeing this as a kind of a community development piece tied to that. So this will be like our first brick and mortar place that's really evolving around.
And as far as the Redevelopment Authority goes, I want to thank my board members of the Dauphin County Redevelopment Authority, the Dauphin County Land Bank Authority, and my staff, Brooke, Autumn, and Deborah, for doing such a great job, keeping all these balls in the air and all these projects we have. So and thank you as well, Chancellor. And, we're a tool where we're a pass-through entity. Some of these state grants, these guys can't apply for, so they need us as the pass-through entity to submit the grants. So that's where we're effective and have the ability to assist in the public-private partnership with college, universities, and for-profit businesses and nonprofit businesses as well. So we have the ability to help pretty much anyone out there that is looking for something to apply for a grant or whatever it may be. And also, we discussed the housing piece too. We're working on affordable housing, and a ton of affordable housing projects we're working on as well. So, and that will assist some of the employees that will be in this center. So
I think this is great.
thank you so much. Thank you. Any
Right.
questions? Any questions?
I think I see a response to one of the questions. I want people to understand the leverage that's going on here, because it was number 7. It said Penn State VP for Research is funding $250,000 annually for 5 years.
Yeah, so internally, this is, and part of it, remember I mentioned earlier, the IP. The intellectual property is really important. So as a research institution, that's how we function. So we see that because the better the clinician is able to do this. So that's kind of the internal partnership with Penn State, yeah. So.
Yeah. But I just want to show, it just wasn't, the county using gaming funds and going here. There is other skin in the game that's coming from other folks as well.
Yeah, and I can tell you that internally, Penn State Harrisburg ourselves have put in about, I think by the time we're all done and said, we're going to put in about $500,000 in our own money operating budget in construction. And then we probably will have about 4 or 5 full-time graduate assistants doing research there. And the entrepreneur in residence is split between us, Ben Franklin, and then the Center for Medical Innovation. So is the project manager. So we're a firm believer that if we believe in something, right, you put your budget behind it. So since we submitted to now, we've been able to do some of this work. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, guys. We
Thank
appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
No, I like, this is the kind of stuff I love.
And thank you for your services as well.
Thank you.
Gaming Advisory Board, we appreciate you guys. And
Doesn't Hack teach welding or some sort of metalwork? Does Hack teach that as a trade?
Yes, they do.
Community college?
Yeah.
Would that be needed with some of this stuff?
Yeah, we actually, believe it or not, they're one of our large flow-through partners. So our engineering,
Okay.
about 40% of our engineering students come through Hack. We have
Okay.
historically, because as Penn State Harrisburg started as an upper division school.
Right.
So now welding, we don't have a degree in welding, but a lot of them enter at what's called engineering technology,
Right.
which is a essential major because that's that nexus between the engineering space and the
Right.
person who welds, and they work a lot in that
Community
space.
has labs for that, right?
Yeah, we have labs on campus that are open. We have a lot of in the community. We work a lot. We work with about 163 community businesses and partners. And then they submit projects to us, and our students do what's called a capstone, and they work in those projects. So we have about 20 to 25% of our students are engaged in the community in some sort of this work. And in fact, one of our projects that has nothing to do with this, but it's tied to this, is we're working with a private company, some of our faculty, to think about retrofitting homes to be more healthy breathing devices. And so we're doing the research for that. It's a small spin-off, small company, and they've received some funding, and so we work a lot with them as well. So it's kind of a larger,
Yeah,
it's so, and the better the community is, the better the house, the better it is for us, right?
right. So when do you find time to be chancellor and do all this?
All the time. I'm just a voice piece. I have there's an amazing group of people behind this, of faculty, students, and I'm just the face of it.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
it's just, thank you.
Upstairs, Brian.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah, appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Hope you guys get out of here before the game.
No.
Don't bring that up.
You,
Not gonna make it.
Nice job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
He did the RDA. Yeah, but he still has the,
8:30.
8:30 spot.
Okay.
But the 8:30 spot is only the IDA. Here's the EDC's application has been removed.
So there was a chancellor at Penn State Harrisburg, but it wasn't him. How long's he been there, do you know?
Oh, I don't know how long he's been there.
Okay. I mean, I think 3 or 4 years ago it was somebody else, but maybe it was only 1 year ago, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, there was definitely somebody else that came here because they were doing something over by the road that comes down through. That was a different gym.
Yeah, okay.
I see. Jim.
Yeah. Have a seat.
Right here?
The next one, pretty straightforward.
Here's right in front of the-
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Ed Smith Center.
You need a bridge. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, we have a bridge.
We have a bridge.
It's beautiful. I don't know, Christina, maybe.
Yeah, do you want me to hold this?
Just, yeah. We'll refer to him as he.
So, new to us this year, we are live streaming. And I'm going to ask you to make sure that you identify yourselves and the association that you are making the request on their behalf and the amount of your request. Please speak as loudly as you can for Jack. The mic's over that way somewhere, right? Additionally, you're sharing this spot, excuse me, roughly 15 minutes for your presentation. I'll set a timer for 12. If it goes off, need to wrap some things up there so that the people coming behind you has the opportunity that you do.
Sure.
So whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay. My name is Laura Maupin. I'm the Executive Director of the Ned Smith Center for Nature and Art in Millersburg.
And I am Christina Heinzelman, and I am the grant coordinator for the Ned Smith Center for Nature and Art.
I don't know how familiar you are with the Ned Smith Center, but we were founded in 1993 by community members in Millersburg who wanted to honor the legacy of the native of Millersburg, Ned Smith, who was a renowned wildlife artist. He was their friend and neighbor. And so in order to preserve his art and his legacy, they started the Ned Smith Center. And it took a while, but we opened a facility in 2004 at our current location with a mission of connecting people with nature and the arts. And in 2007, so it took a few years to actually get a bridge that connected the site to a lot of the land over the Wiccanisco Creek and to the trails and the 535 acres of wild land that we conserve. But they got the bridge, and it is a beautiful bridge. And I'll just show you a picture here.
Yes.
It's actually rather iconic and beautiful. I don't know if any of you have seen it or been to it. And we use it in photos all the time to try to draw people to the center. And in fact, many, many community members come and take photos there, maybe for their wedding or prom or graduation. And so it's a beautiful bridge over the Wiccanisco, one of the only pedestrian bridges in the area that does cross the creek there. So we opened that bridge in 2007. And in 2014, we opened an outdoor amphitheater, which kind of looks out onto the bridge area, which allows us to have outdoor concerts and other community events there outside of the center. And today we feature 3 art galleries, a children's discovery play area, educational spaces, a picnic area, the amphitheater I spoke of, 9 miles of trails. And I just want to note that our galleries and our trails are open year-round, free to the public. And many, many people come and enjoy them from both, the English and Plain communities. We have all kinds of folks coming in from the local community and visiting from farther away. So to talk about the bridge a little bit more, it's 10 feet wide and about 240 feet long. And it's, again, beautiful, iconic bridge, often a site for photos, as I said. We have about 12,000 folks crossing that bridge a year. We have trail cams that do count how many people are using the bridge. We've got hikers, runners. Here's a picture from our 5K, which I'm going to point to some sort of things in the picture in a minute. And we've got families with strollers and wheelchairs. It is ADA accessible. We've got a lot of dog walkers, photographers, sportsmen, and the students and the campers that come and utilize the educational programs at our center. And we are now the site of a new and the first ever in the state of Pennsylvania mushroom conservation area. And the only way to get there is over the bridge. So this bridge is very solid and was built to last. If you can see, there's kind of steel, arches, and we have the stone pediment, pediments, and it is very, very solid. But unfortunately,
It was designed by DCNR.
designed by DCNR, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a really solid, beautiful bridge. Our problem is the bridge decking. So if you can see, over time with use, lots of use, and wear and weather, and the fact that the boards don't have gaps in between them, so a lot of the snow and ice and just kind of stayed on the surface. They tried a couple of years to do a coating on the bridge to preserve the wood as best they could, and you can kind of see the remnants of that white that's there. It didn't work very well. So what we're doing is we have steel plating, the diamond plate over the worst areas to make sure that it is safe for pedestrians. But basically that wood is rotting. So our team of stakeholders and experts has sort of come together to really analyze all the different options for that surface and look at different possible substances, materials that we could use and what would work best for the way that the bridge is being used, and looking at cost and efficiency and everything. And they've decided that Douglas fir, treated in an environmentally sustainable way, is the best material that we can use for the bridge. So that is kind of what we're proposing. It's an $142,000 project, but we're asking for $75,000 to help us get this done so that we can continue to use the bridge in our community.
Will the Douglas fir need to be treated?
Yes, it needs to be treated, and so it would have to, yes, so we have an environmentally safe treatment that we could.
Like every 3 years, you'll have to put a coat on it?
Oh, that's a good question. It is meant to withstand time, so we don't have to treat it after that, yeah.
Well, I would think it would be similar to like somebody's wood deck.
Yeah.
That eventually you'll have to do some
Eventually
sort
we'll
of
have to do
maintenance.
something, some maintenance, of course, yes, but this was, pine, right? It was a pine, and it did not do very well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. I just want to make sure that you can see what I'm talking about in a picture. Yeah.
No, I mean, this was a good presentation.
Yeah.
This is what we have. This is.
So that's really all I have to say. If you have any questions for us.
Do you have I think there was like 140 something was
Uh-huh.
your overall cost? Do you
Right.
have the other funds in hand?
Yes.
And we did report that in the grant, the 67,198 we have.
Yeah.
Good.
Sometimes for me, the simple answer is the best.
So do people bring dogs on leashes?
Yes, and that's the reason one of the reasons we don't want to use metal, because we considered a metal bridge because then the snow could go through, but one is that could get very icy and cold in the winter, and then in the summer it would be too hot
Right.
for the dogs, yeah.
Good forward therapy.
I have no questions.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Well done.
Nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank
you so
for
much.
having us.
The next people want to improve a field, like a baseball field or something.
I like that, that was really straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad she noted I thought the metal panels were actually just the, like the plates for grip or something. I didn't realize they were covering holes.
Yeah, so my daughter went there for pictures for a dance, and you can see right here, the metal
Oh,
plates
okay.
even through there.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, this was just in October.
Upper Dauphin Teener Baseball Program.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
hi
good
there.
evening.
Hi.
Thank you for being punctual, certainly appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely.
This evening, we are live streaming, something new to us as well, so.
Okay.
Anyway, you have approximately 15 minutes for your presentation. If you
Okay.
would project, speak loudly, if you would, mic's over in that direction. Additionally, if you would identify yourself and your association with the granting agency, the Upper Dauphin.
Yeah, the Upper Dauphin Teeners. Sorry if
Anyway,
I cough or
I'm
whatever.
sorry. I've been a little long,
It's okay.
couple nights, so
Yeah.
whenever you're ready, please
Okay.
take it away.
My name's Lynette Walters. I am the Secretary Treasurer with the Upper Dauphin Teener Baseball League. I do I'm the one that put everything together for the, I'm on the board with a bunch of guys, so I do everything. To be honest, just saying.
All right,
I have my guys I go to.
I understand there's doers and then there's.
Yeah, we just became 501c accredited 2 years ago. So we are really, really new. The Teeners have been around for 20 plus years. But we went 501c 2 years ago. I've been on the board since it was started at that point. It's my baby at this point. My son was on it. He's no longer gonna be there, but I will be. And have no plans to go anywhere anytime soon.
What age is a teenager?
It is approximately 12 years old to 15, depending on their birthdays for baseball age,
Okay.
which is something I have to figure out too. When I'm assigning teams and kids to teams, and what I'm looking for is to redo our home field at the Mayo Park in Millersburg. It's been there umpteen years. I'm not sure, ever since the park was created, probably like 40, 50 years. The field itself has not been redone in what I've been told about 20 years. So it needs a lot of help. And I was pointed in the direction of you guys, so I've been trying to really try to get some help with the community, and that's why I want to apply for the grant, because it is a safety concern of mine for the boys. Right now, the field itself, or the infield, is probably about 12 inches higher than the other parts. So there's a slant from the field down to the outfield. So there's been quite a few boys falling, and like it's been rough.
So who will do this work?
Latshaw's Construction, let me just make sure that's the correct name. It is a company up in Millersburg. Chris Latshaw, he is the owner. He's been a resident of Millersburg his whole life. He's contacted him because he's been really excited. He wants to do this for the kids because he's like, I really want to do this. Like, I want to do this work and I want to do it right if we can, get the help that we really need.
So it's just the field, it's not dugouts or?
We're
fencing
looking
or-
at the field and putting a fence up.
Okay.
The fence is huge for us because right now we only have a tearaway and there's holes in the ground where it goes. So literally we have a truck that we load the fence onto and it's rolled up and they go hold a hole and put it up. So we have to put it up, it's a lot of work. And that fence itself, with doing that, tends to deplete over the
Sure.
years, so.
Will Millersburg cut the grass?
So we're working with Chris that, Latchaws, that he would take care of
Okay.
the infield. The borough will probably take care of outside if we do the fence.
Okay.
But right now, the borough does take care of that. But Chris is kind of like, if I do the field, I want to maintain it and do the upkeep on it, which I've talked to the borough and they're okay with.
Is he donating his time?
Yes, he's gonna donate all of his time, to it. He's just charging for the estimate he gave us is just the cost of materials.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's good.
he's been great to work
So
with.
really, you only need like what's, fill and seed, grass seed, right? I mean, could you say it dip down? Does
Well,
it can't be rolled? Is it that low?
it has to be completely
Built.
excavated.
Oh,
It's pretty rough. I did send a couple pictures over. I don't know if they came through. I tried to take a few, how it goes from home base, it goes down, and then the backstop goes up against the concession, or the grandstand. So it's,
multiple injuries, sprained ankle?
yeah. We've had quite a few.
How
And-
much time will it take once he starts?
He actually didn't give me that time, but probably a few weeks.
I think in here, I'm looking at the question.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering.
About 2 to 3 weeks to complete, depending on the weather. I guess that would depend upon growing in and watering ground.
Yeah. So it's hard to see on that one. I know, I tried really hard to get good pictures. It was quite cold the other day. So there's the backstop,
Right.
so you can see where the ground goes up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So looking at the timing of any of this, if you are awarded, right? I think we're looking at the earliest is April.
April, yeah,
I mean, this is gonna be cutting into your,
probably at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
do you have a
Um,
plan that?
the
if it
teeners-
does, or-
the teener season actually doesn't start towards mid-May.
Or practices and stuff,
Practices, we do have other fields we can use.
so you have a backup.
Yeah, we also use the Gratz field. There's a teener field up there that we use as well for the games. So we can always, if we have to, practice up there.
Your key week practice usually starts about April, late April.
Yeah, it's,
Generally, yeah.
they
They try not to.
Teener, like the 15-year-olds don't start till high school's out.
Yep.
The younger ones,
Let's start
13, 14s, they'll start a little
We'll
early.
start earlier. Where
Yeah.
exactly is this field
Yeah.
located?
It's at the Mayo Park in Millersburg. So if you're
They're not gonna play.
If you're going into Millersburg before you hit that bridge, if you make a left down, and that one on the road, it's
That's
down in
That's the
there.
one down on the river.
Oh, okay. Is that not across it, but before, correct?
It's right
Before,
across
yeah.
from Shell. The
Yes.
turn is right
Oh,
by
yeah, right, the
Shell.
shell, okay, got you. I know what it marks.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, I love our park. Everybody that comes up for games is like, we love it here because the view is so,
Beautiful.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Does it flood at all?
It has. Our field has been okay, but
That's why the ground's out, washed out.
Probably, yeah.
yeah,
That makes sense.
and there hasn't been upkeep.
Does the high school still use the Maya?
As of right now, no, because it's combined with Upper Dauphin.
Oh, so they go to up down.
Yeah, they are looking at bringing it back. But that, we don't know how long that could take. Or they have to get the numbers and of the kids to come back. So, I mean, if the high school comes back, that would be really nice to get more people down there.
Is the plan to renovate the, backstop and everything else as well?
The stands are good. Right now, I'm focusing on the field. The field is my main, it's rough. And
Probably a
then,
good idea, like you say, start with safety first, and the
Right.
kids are your first priority, go
Yeah.
from there, and then, you can work on the other part.
yeah, I really like the idea of putting the fence in, that was my, like, oh, let's get a fence, because we are by the sewer plant as well, behind it. So I'm like, can we have a fence so we're not, like, going in that area? Even though I don't think balls are going back there, but
It could. Some of these kids can hit pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
I think of the sewer,
Is fundraising your main source of income or their membership fees?
Sponsorship and fundraising. I really rely a lot on sponsorship for the team and everything. I'm getting with some other people to write our sponsorship letters so that we hopefully could get a little more.
So
this
no
year.
membership fee or anything?
Hmm.
No membership fee or anything?
Just a registration fee
Okay.
when they sign up, and that kind of covers their uniforms and our insurance for that season.
Have you thought about asking the authority, if the authority didn't have a fence around their treatment plant, you would think that they would want that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have one like back farther or closer to that. I'm not sure. I could look into that.
Well, I don't know what they don't know, if they don't have fence. Maybe they'll pay for your fence.
No, that, I don't think there's ever been a fence up down at the.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
would check with them, because you would think that having a ball field right next to your treatment plant, that I would think that, you
Yeah, I
know,
can't
their
tell.
township solicitor would
That's a good
advise
point.
their
I can find a
authority to
swimming
have
pool in my
something there,
backyard
right?
and check my
What do they
nets.
call that, attractive nuisance?
Is it an attractive thing? Is it attractive?
It's a smelling nuisance.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't smell good down there sometimes. Yeah, and I was looking too, more to level, because we do have, when Lifeline comes in, the field is where they land, down there at the park too. Down at our baseball field, Lifeline lands there, so I was like,
Hopefully that doesn't happen very often.
no, it doesn't. The only thing that the fire company has requested is that we have doors that, you know, the ambulance can get in there. With the fence.
Any questions?
No, it was real straightforward.
Thank you much, certainly appreciate your
Thank
time
you.
and taking care of those
Yeah,
youngsters.
these kids are my life. Yeah, these kids are important to me. I run the concession stand too and do all that, so.
You make fried chicken?
No.
Oh, it's a joke. It's a
No, see, that's been an ongoing thing if they want fryers, and I'm like, no, I have my, my grill. I have my grill.
And nothing says baseball like hot dogs.
Mm-hmm. I do,
And when I was
fresh
coaching,
grilled hamburgers, hot dogs,
wasn't-
sausages.
wasn't a game until I had hot dogs.
Well, come on up when we have a game. We have all that. We actually have people come in from the community for our concession stand.
Oh, good, yeah.
So, no, let's stay for the game.
It was a good fundraiser too. Great.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Look at that.
Perfect timing.
Perfect.
Woohoo. Thank you. Oh, yes.
She's a sweetheart. If it floods, I wonder if it's in a floodplain and that's why they don't have a fence. Because they wouldn't be able to put a chain link fence up there.
Probably is a
It
floodplain,
is
it's right
the-
along the river.
Yeah.
It's right on the river, and the driveway into it, they actually have to, I think, widen it through, because like the riverbank was being eroded over time. It's such a narrow passway.
Oh, really?
That like you have to stop, beep your horn, so if you can hear the car coming the other way. It's so narrow, but it's beautiful there.
Is this your skin?
What?
Is this your skin?
What? No. Oh, it might be, yeah.
A lot of the other ones look like that. What is yours?
Yeah. Hi. Well, good morning.
Hi,
Proceed.
have a seat.
So whoever will be doing the majority of the speaking, would be nice if they sat this way, because we are live streaming.
Okay.
The mic's down towards this end of the room. So, we're gonna be asking you to, speak clearly, loudly, that sort of thing.
That's your forte, isn't
We were really teasing when you were sitting.
Just wanted to see us jump around.
it? Chairman, this is both, brought both the EMS and school district, both EMS and the school district.
So between the two of you, you have 30 minutes for your presentations, right? So, I will set a timer for 25 minutes. If it goes off, we need to wrap things up. But I'm gonna be asking, you guys, when you are, start your presentation, right? Identify yourselves, who you're affiliated with and what your request is, and who you're supporting. So I'm not sure, I'll let you guys police the splitting of the time yourselves, so. You'll look like you work together anyway, right? So whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Yeah, down is up, down
Down is
arrow is up.
Progresses, yeah.
Okay.
Dane, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Dane Higby. I'm a principal at Delta Development Group here on behalf of Millersburg Area School District. Our request is for demolition of the current Lankerville Elementary School building, and our request is $200,000. I'm joined by Dr. Lee Bisbell, Superintendent of Millersburg Area School District, and Eric Petrie, Business Manager of Millersburg Area School District, who will also be speaking this evening. So just a little bit about the project background. Lankerville Elementary School, as some of you may know, it's previously served as the hub of elementary education in the Millersburg area, both in Millersburg Borough and Upper Paxton Township, from approximately the 1930s till 2024. This is the first year that Millersburg School District's elementary school is currently on the campus with the middle and high school. So that's been a big transition for the school district in terms of moving that facility and mothballing the current Lankerville Elementary School building. In 2023, our firm, Delta Development Group, was commissioned by Millersburg Area School District to prepare a highest and best use study to determine future uses for the building and property. The school district recognized that they didn't want the current building to become a blight on the community by completely closing it and leaving it empty. So that's why our firm was hired to prepare a highest and best use study to determine what the best uses for the future of the building and property would be. So we went through that process. It concluded last year, and we've developed a redevelopment plan that we think hits a lot of the notes that both the school district and the community are looking for. So our study determined that the property is best suited for continued civic and recreational benefit. There are a few reasons for that. One, market need for recreational facilities, and also school district affiliated uses such as alternative education. We also found that access isn't necessarily conducive to any industrial or commercial uses, which potentially limited the potential reuse of the property. Another benefit of the project that we've identified is that the zoning is also conducive to residential and recreational educational uses. The property is not currently zoned for any type of commercial use, so that really limited the potential reuse of the property. And another reason that we've identified the reuse scenario that you'll learn about this evening is also that the community really wants to retain recreational uses and also keep the site a hub of education for Northern Dauphin County. Another reason that we've identified this potential reuse is that the building's not really feasible for renovation due to a few reasons. Its age, the roof is deteriorating. As you can see in photo number 2, the roof is leaking quite badly, which would potentially be an expensive fix if the building were to be reused. Also, the mechanical systems are older, which would be a very large expense if they were to be reused. And also the series of partial stairwells in the building would make it difficult for any type of residential or senior living type of use. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Bisdill to identify the project vision that we've put together for you for consideration.
So this is the exciting part, the vision. Oh, you're on the wrong. Thank you. So we really envision this property, we can really turn it into an extension of the heart of the community in the school district. So looking to demolish a portion or all of the building, that has yet to be decided. If we can save the gym portion of the existing building, we'd like to do that. And then turn it into indoor recreation, build, perhaps a youth rec center, and then also a place for educational services in our community and in Dauphin County and across the state in general. But particularly because of our geographic location, there's a high need for educational placements for students with special needs and alternative modes of learning. So we are really looking to extend our educational services into the community and to be able to support other districts as well. We also have been in communication with some of the local mental health agencies and looking to possibly provide some mental health services as well. So again, really just making it a hub for the community. So we do want to, it was really important to the community and the residents to preserve the existing playground and the sledding hill, which also serves as a great vantage point for fireworks shows. And then also in conversation and envisioning perhaps selling a portion of the property to a residential builder for a few homes as well.
You can talk to that or? Go ahead. Okay. So here you have just an overview of, what we're envisioning. You can see the homes there to the left, which would be to the south of the property. Some outdoor recreational and indoor recreational space, walking trail, and hopefully a place for alternate education placement as well. So the funding request, we are, as Dane mentioned, seeking $200,000 to assist with the demolition of our beloved Lankerville Elementary School. We do offer a significant amount of matching funds, approximately 60% that we are putting up as well, which is a little more than $300,000. We understand that this is a greater ask than normal. The normal, $75,000 ask. However, we're impacting a large area, all of northern Dauphin County, and so we felt that it was worthy of the ask. And certainly, as Dane mentioned, plays into the community and economic development of northern Dauphin County. We do have two of our township supervisors here with us this evening, Rich Wiest and Bob Coleman. And in addition, we have Dan Troutman here, who is our buildings and grounds supervisor. If you were to have any questions about the building as it exists now, Dan would be the expert to answer those. They are co-sponsoring the grant, the ask, and are on board with this. I know one of the questions that was asked of us is, where do we prioritize, or where does the township prioritize this? Gentlemen, I don't know if you want to take a minute now and just share where this project is on your radar for the township.
Well, one thing that we really appreciate is that you're trying to take this and keep this nice and reuse the space as much as possible and not gonna become a burden. Say, for instance, if it was abandoned, the township would have to make some kind of actions or something. And that's one of the big things that we really appreciate you're trying to do with this project.
Thank you. Rich, anything?
That's pretty much it there. I mean, it needs to
Yeah.
keep moving.
And the alternative is what we all fear, which is the property becomes blighted. It's obviously a liability to the district to stand as it is now. It's a public safety liability to leave it stand. So what we have done using the EPA brownfield funds, we have gone ahead with a phase 1 environmental assessment of the property. So that has been completed. We are, as a second part of the brownfield funds, we are looking at a structural assessment. As was mentioned, if there are any parts of the building that could be salvaged, it may be the gymnasium, and maybe a 3rd grade wing of 4 classrooms, Dan. Those were built in 92. So if there's any part of that building that is worth saving, those could be it. And we are using the brownfield funds to do that assessment to see if that's feasible. If it's not, then we're looking at totally demolishing.
What is the time frame of that study?
The time frame of the study. So part 1 has been completed already, and Dan, you checked in with them about the structural part. That should be any week now?
It should be within the next month. We should hear back from them, at least have a preliminary. I believe when we were on a call right before Christmas break, they said now after the new year, it'll be a couple weeks, but they anticipate that study being completed and to us, the structural portion.
If that study lends greater insight, changes what your plans are, we're gonna be able to keep this, we could potentially save this. If that amends your ask, please get information over to Brooke as quickly as possible.
We certainly would do that. In the application packet, we do have quotes, 3 different sources, and they separated out a partial demolition versus a full demolition. So the price differences are there. They're still both substantial, but you should have that information. If not, we can certainly get that to you. So again, the demolition of the elementary building is a first step in this redevelopment process. Until we get the building down, we can't really move forward with any of these other plans or visions that we have for Millersburg and the Upper Dauphin County region.
What's your first name, Lee?
Lee.
Dr. Lee, I think I heard you say that this building is built and it's used for services for challenged people or people who learn differently. Other school districts may send their students there?
Yes, that is the goal. That's the vision.
So
Yes.
this could be a regional benefit?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for Northern Dauphin County school districts, currently, if we would need to send a student to an outside placement, it's, I would say the shortest is about 45 minutes
Yeah,
one way on a bus or a van.
Right.
So this would provide a local area where school districts could keep their kids closer to home.
Yeah, I think, would other school districts send you a letter of support?
I believe so, yeah.
You might want to think about that. That's wrong.
Okay, so the questions that you had given us, I think we spoke to the first one already. When will we decide to sell a portion of the property? It will depend how things move forward with the redevelopment, with the structural study. Could be as soon as 2025, more reasonable, probably 2026. If we do not sell the additional property, how do we plan to use the property? We would continue to use it as an outdoor recreational area. The portion of the property where the houses were drawn is currently a softball field. And our local kids, both baseball and softball, use that field, as well as our soccer team has used that as well. So we would plan to continue to use that for outdoor recreation until the time would come to sell the property. The timeline for developing the extra recreational facilities, I would say probably 2026, 2027 would be our best guess. But again, right now, focusing on phase one, we are seeking to get the building demolished.
So what did the environmental thing say? You have asbestos and all that kind of stuff?
We have, they check for lead paint, which there's no additional disposal for that or when you're demoing a building, but they do check for that.
I mean, for the age, I think you probably have it all. Right?
We do, but very limited. 1988, there was a remediation project that was done district-wide for us. There was caulking. I believe there was a couple 100 feet of caulking that had asbestos in it that would have to be removed around the windows in the cafeteria and up on the roof. But very limited. They were kind of surprised themselves. It was a very comprehensive study. They chipped up Traza. They took a piece of ceiling tile and they were everywhere. They said the building, as long as you're not going to use this part here for sure, they destroyed. I mean, they checked very thoroughly. So I was very impressed with that outfit out of Pittsburgh. So very limited though.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful.
Yeah, great news for us too.
If you guys don't get the full 200,000, or if you don't get an award or don't get the full 200,000, does that change your timeline for demolition?
Dane, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, if there would be a partial award, I think the school district would probably be willing to make up the additional funding with some additional matching funds, but if there was no award, it might delay the demolition process.
Any other questions? If not, should we move on to your next presenter?
Yep.
You got something PowerPoint?
You can stay or you can leave, whatever you want to do. Okay.
My name's David Rudecap. I'm here with Jackie Ferriola, who happens to be the secretary. I am the president for the ambulance chief for Millersburg Area Ambulance. Excuse me, I'm kind of got thrown into this today. We are requesting $150,000. We're looking for a new ambulance. We are looking to purchase a bariatric ambulance, which is for larger patients. There's a huge need in Dauphin County and all over for that. People are large.
I never thought about this. Yeah, go ahead.
What we're looking to do is we're looking for a rig that we can use every day for normal patients, swap a litter out, take a few things out. It's done in the service. It's done in the EMS business. Our current ambulances are a 2013 and a 2014. They both have over 175,000 miles.
Basically, our rigs need to be updated.
Yeah.
The maintenance on them alone is beginning to become more of a hassle and more not financially sustainable. So we need a new rig. When looking for a new rig, we were wondering, what do we need? What does the community need? At this point in time, the community needs a bariatric ambulance. There isn't one in Upper Dauphin or Upper Paxton Township or Upper Dauphin County. As of right now, the last time that a patient in Upper Paxton Township needed a bariatric rig, we had to wait for one from Adams County, which delays patient time. It increases the call time. It delays patient care, which is devastating to someone who if they're calling the ambulance, they need help. And unfortunately, we can't provide that to a certain percentage of the residents in Dauphin County at this point in time.
Not only does it delay patient care for that patient, it also ties us up waiting with that patient for up to, well, Adams County was 90-some minutes till they were there.
So how does it work? Is the truck wider or is it just set up to?
The litter is wider, and as silly as this sounds, there's ramps and ways of lifting the litter in to accommodate the weight.
Oh, okay.
Some rigs are set up with a winch, metal ramps and a winch, that we don't have to lift people.
Right.
Our last bariatric patient came from a nursing home. Millersburg serves a nursing home and a large population with an assisted living and retirement people. Just so happens the nursing home has a lot of people from all over the county anymore. We serve Millersburg and Upper Paxton Township. We also run mutual aid anywhere within the county and out of county, in the end of Northumberland County and the Schuylkill County. EMS right now is a failing thing. It just is.
So I'm just curious, is there just not another ambulance of that style that's
What happened?
had to come all the way from Adams County?
We had requested a bariatric unit and there was nobody else available.
And where is the closest one that is one that, or is that just, I
New
mean, then my
Bloomfield-
next follow-up is,
New
is it just
Bloomfield
use
has-
that?
New Bloomfield has one, but they were not available or unwilling to come. Didn't have a crew, whatever.
So once you get to the emergency room or wherever you're going, are there new hurdles put in your path or are the hallways wide enough to make the corners and get in there?
There's
thinking some of
a
some
lot of
doctors out here?
hurdles with
Okay.
larger patients.
Okay.
There's the hurdle of getting them out. Luckily, fire department helped.
Okay.
Fire department helped with heavier patients.
Right.
We have heavier things to help with them. It's just the rig itself. It makes the rig tight. It's hard to get them in and out of the rig.
Sure.
Once they get to the hospital, it's easier once we get them there. The problem is being able to get them in the transport and transport them to the hospital.
Hmm.
Hospitals nowadays are more equipped to handle bariatric patients, just because with the times the hospitals have adapted. They have the bariatric, they have the beds that they can use, they have I apologize. I do have English, I promise. The hallways are adequate. The rooms, they do have rooms that can accommodate the patients. The problem at this point in time is getting the patients to the hospital.
Some of the questions that you had asked, we are requesting more than the 75,000. The total project would be, and this was a verbal quote, trying to get a quote on an ambulance right now is next to impossible. They are talking about a 3-year delivery date on the ambulance right now. And with anywhere from a $25,000 to a $75,000 increase in cost of chassis between the time of ordering and the time of delivery. So the salesmen they don't know what to do.
No, I believe that some of the firehouses that have been in here.
Yeah, they're running into the same issue. So if at the time of being awarded the grant, we would move forward immediately with ordering an ambulance and getting the process started. And with the award of the grant, we would start with the down payment money and start the process of paying for it. We would use other grants. We have applied for other grants, the gaming grant, the PEMA grant. There's a SARS grant right now to help fund the rest of it. We do have a line of credit for the down money if need be.
The PEMA grant is supposed to be sending out the award letters in March.
Yeah.
So I know that was one of the questions that was asked. Unfortunately, we won't know until March of this year if we got that. We did apply for the $15,000. And we'll know that within the next 2 months.
Are you fully volunteer?
No,
You think,
we are paid. Voluntary EMS went away.
yeah, it was a little bit of a dinosaur, but I wasn't sure if it
And
was on there yet.
we are, and what, some of the thought with this bariatric unit is, we do have a crew 24/7, 365 days a year is our goal. There are some times we miss a little shift here or there due to call-offs, but we are willing to go and help anywhere. Just like Adams County came to us, we will travel, with our service. We're not just limiting it to us.
Right.
Right now, we cover EMS. We're involved in a COG study in Upper Dauphin County, Council of Governments.
Right.
They're studying EMS in Upper County. We're waiting for that to come back. We've been fortunate with Upper Paxton Township have helped us financially, and they're here to support us. And the borough's helping too.
Will this move forward regardless of receiving funding from this, or even if it's just partial funding or no funding at all?
It will, the time frame just changes. At this point in time, we need the down payment money, we need that up front to get the project started. And then we have other, we have the township, the borough that are willing to contribute. We have the other grants plus the low interest loan or line of credit that we have. It's just, it makes it slower.
Yes.
With having to also do the repairs on the current rigs and everything else and not being able to transport those patients. We don't have the funding available to get it started right away. So it would basically, yes, we want this, it needs to happen. The ambulance needs it, the community needs it, but it will slow down the process.
Slow the process.
Okay. Thank you.
Did I remember reading another request another year for bariatric ambulance? Did you guys apply? Have you guys applied at all before?
We haven't, I don't believe we have applied for a gaming grant since the purchase of our last rig.
Okay.
The 2013 rig. We bought the 2014 because we had one blow up. I don't believe we ever applied for a grant since then.
I think that's so.
Okay.
I'm not, don't.
I could have sworn I remembered it. What is the cost, what's the down payment amount?
We have a $30,000 line of credit. The sales, that all depend. The salesman that came to me could not even provide me with a new ambulance to look at.
Okay.
He brought a re-chassis. He brought one that they just put in chassis. He takes the trade-ins and puts boxes, used box on, he brought that, so we could see some. We talked new. Really, there was no, what the down money would be.
Okay.
At the time.
So
He wasn't real clear on anything. He didn't want to commit to anything unless I was willing to sign something.
Where are these made?
Osage was the company I looked at. I believe they're made in South Carolina. I did Swab Wagon Company in Elizabethville, which is in Dauphin County, no longer makes ambulances. They do ambulances for everybody else. They make them for EBI as a company's name, or EBS. They're painting stuff and they're farming out their business, using their equipment to help somebody else out.
So is this like a van or
It would be,
a truck with a box on it?
well, it would be a truck with a box on. There's three different types of ambulances. There's a type 1 ambulance, which is what you see with a pickup truck style front end, and a type 3, which is a van style. A van style front end and a wide box. And then a type 2 is just, looks like a van with a high top. We aren't 100% sold on what we would go with, if we would go with a type 1 or a type 3, but it would be one or the other. quality of ride, weight. An ambulance is completely and totally overloaded because of equipment, and they get used hard. Our turnaround time for a call in Upper County is 2.5 hours. From the time we dispatch to the time we reach back in service, ready to take another call. Because the closest facility is Hampton on the West Shore.
So would you be able to get better numbers for us to review? I mean, it sounds like we're asking for 75,000 because that's what we can ask for. I don't really have good numbers.
Okay,
I think you need to pressure folks on the other end of things a little harder. to
I can
try to
press
get some-
harder. I can
Some
do that.
information for us.
Okay. And just email them to,
Please.
okay,
Yeah, I think what would be best is if you could, even if it's a percentage, maybe this is the expected down and this is the payment schedule until
okay.
the delivery.
I know he said the payment schedule usually is a percentage down at time of order,
Okay,
and then at the 50% mark of completion of build, and then at the final delivery. It comes in down to approximately 3 payments.
okay,
Now, I know, he didn't come right out and say it's a third, a third, and a third,
right.
but
If you
usually
could
that's
try,
right.
yes.
Yeah,
I'll
a third
press
of
it.
what we don't know.
Yeah, I will, he was very vague with the price.
Well,
I
I'll
think-
take this tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think part of that is because it's a 2.5 to 3 year turnaround to actually get
Yeah.
it delivered. So they're kind of, well, it could be 300,000 today, but next year it could be 325. So that's where that ambiguity comes in, unfortunately. But we can definitely.
I can press, and I actually contacted 5 companies and salesmen, and had 1 reply.
You know anybody who recently bought one, had it delivered? Can you get a copy of their invoice?
No, I don't. The newest ambulances I know of are UPMC, and UPMC isn't real sharing. They're not real friendly.
I think Halifax is looking at.
Halifax purchased a used rig out of South Carolina, something they found that was a bargain. I don't know a lot about it. I know where it came from and that it was used. They just picked it up last week or 2 weeks ago.
Any other questions? Thank you much. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't imagine having an ambulance there and then having to wait 2.5 hours. to
I
be
know.
moved. Wow.
From Adams County, it's insane.
Yeah.
Because George is
Yeah, and the.
Yeah, I don't understand. So much for mutual aid.
So, if I go to a movie theater, they have oversized chairs, but I never thought about it.
Well, and it's true, people aren't just like 300 pounds now, they're like 800 pounds now. I mean,
Yeah.
if they can't move themselves.
So the elevator constructors, Harrisburg electrician, okay. Over 75.
So we've done pipe fitters, electrical, and then one there in HVAC and welding.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, how
Hi.
are you? Have a seat right along there.
Is this all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the local 59 and the Harrisburg electricians as well. Both.
Yeah. Well, folks, you have between the two of you, right? You get to split a 30-minute time slot. So I'll leave that how you want to divide things, or maybe it's a joint presentation. I'm not really sure. So we are live streaming this evening, right? It's new to us. I don't know if you've ever been on TV. Me, I try to avoid it in the grand scheme of things. So there is a mic over this way, right? So please speak clearly, project your voice, identify yourselves and who you're affiliated with and your request. Other than that, I didn't forget anything, right? The floor is yours.
Kevin, who are you presenting on first?
So-
Local 59 or electricians?
We'll do local 59 first. That's what, I think that's what you have it on the list.
Yeah, I have that.
Yep. And you each have a copy of this in front of you. You will in a second or
Yeah, they
two.
also have it electronically.
Yep. Okay. So local 59, founded in 1924, city of Harrisburg, located in the city of Harrisburg. If you want to go to slide.
Oh, and there's a remote right in front of you. The down button. There you go.
Yeah, progresses.
So a little bit about the organization, 90 members who are working in the field of elevator construction and maintenance and repair. They offer a 5-year apprenticeship program. They get benefits and pay on day one. The education program comes at no expense to the apprentices. Go to the next slide. So what do they do? Provide a Class A certified apprenticeship program to the residents of 26 different Pennsylvania counties from the Maryland border to the New York border. But the training center for these apprentices is located right here in Harrisburg and has been for 100 years. So currently, the apprenticeship class consists of 27 apprentices, which is the largest in the organization's 100-year history. And a lot of that has to do with just market share. There's a lot coming down the pipe for work, so they've kind of expanded their class size. And then the next slide, what do we intend to do with the grant? So they're applying for a grant of $75,000, which we were understanding that was the limit. With that, new roof, new windows, HVAC upgrades, new exterior doors, a security system for the building itself. It's just located off of Berry Hill Street in Harrisburg, and a fenced in and secure parking lot. And then the next slide, the roof project is actually done. So there's some sort of before and after pictures. And then the next slide is just some more of kind of the condition it was in. It's pretty rough shape, it's original roof. And then the last slide is just the exterior doors, the 3 exterior doors, and then what the parking lot looks like now, which is completely unfenced. And they've had some sort of vandalism issues in the past year or so. That's the whole point of the fenced-in parking lot. So that's the presentation for the elevator constructors, Local 59. Happy to answer any questions y'all might have.
Just one, you have 27 taking part in it now. How many are on the waiting list, if there is a waiting list?
How many are on our waiting list?
There are apprentices who say, oh, I didn't make it this time, can I be reconsidered next time?
Yeah, so
'Cause I think this kind of stuff is great.
we do a hiring list of recruitment once every 2 years. We're a very small local. You're gonna see a little bit different with the electricians. 91 members. We put 4 guys to work a year.
Okay.
But those basically people retire and I have to replace them. So typically for us for a list, we'll typically see 40 applicants.
Okay.
It's roughly what, nobody knows who we are. So we struggle to get our word out. We've gotten, the International has started a real big social media campaign of Twitter and trying to get out to more groups. I do go to schools in the area and present, but it's really hard to present then and then tell somebody, well, you're gonna go on our list for 2 years, right? So it's hard to, the apprenticeship program is difficult to get into just because of timing.
Right.
But we typically have 40 people apply. I usually have about 22 on a list. And then that list will carry us typically 2 years. I have 10 new guys that we put to work, new guys and girls that we put to work for 2024, which is like a record for us. This total of 27 apprentices is pretty big for us.
Oh, that's great. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
As the area has grown, so has their local. A lot of interesting work too. I mean, we were just talking about yesterday, Beaver Stadium, a lot of work going on there, a lot of escalators. That's the new thing there.
At Beaver Stadium, yeah.
Their members have completely built and maintained them.
Every major hospital in central Pennsylvania, we maintain. A lot of the colleges we maintain. The 3 major stadiums at Beaver Stadium, Bryce Jordan and Pagula, we maintain those elevators.
Dauphin County, county building.
Any other questions?
Who builds the elevators? I mean, you don't build the elevators.
We don't. So I have seven major contractors that are through our local. Otis, Schindler, Kone, and TK Elevator are the majors. They all build their own equipment. And then I have Ashland, Hatfield, Cardinal, and Reading that work out of our local as well. They typically buy from, a lot of times it's a major under a different name, but there are some, there's MCE, Motion Controls, Virginia Controls, that build and just sell, they don't really install.
So do you do the installation or just maintain?
No, we do start to finish.
Okay.
Start to finish. We build them. We install them. We don't manufacture them.
Right.
But yeah, and that's typically where our apprentices come in at, is at the install level. It's from the back of a tractor trailer to handing the key over to the building owner.
Some of the programs that they have are very innovative in that they're almost like video games, teaching the apprentices. They can insert any problem into a computer program, have it show up on a screen, and then the apprentices have to work to solve the problem. A lot of trial and error, but the whole point is to send them into the field with a little bit of experience on what happens, before you get on the job.
Yeah, the 5-year program that we have, the first year is probationary. At the 6-month mark, they get enrolled in school. It's like a college, 4 years, 2 semesters a year, 1 night a week, 4 hours a night. They attend class. They will have 8,000 hours in the field and training, and they'll have about 600 hours in class training before they can actually go out on their own and work on elevators.
So they're working in the field as assistants while.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We meet, I meet with the Melrose School, which is right down the street from us, and that's been a real eye opener for me. 4th and 5th graders come up, and because it's been another, how do we get our name out? So that's become a yearly thing for me. And when we started doing it, I really didn't expect much out of it. And as kids go, you underestimate them, and I did. And they're some of the best questions. And one of the big things is, I can start making money the day I come there. Yeah, you have a full-time job, and we teach you for free. So, you donate your time for the education, but you leave with a really good paying job. And some of those kids have left the door. I'll see you in 6 years. All right. I hope I'm still here, and I'll see you in 6 years.
So you do the commercial and the residential stuff too, ones that go in homes?
We do. Not as much residential. There are a lot of companies out there, Inclinator and them, that specialize in home units, but I've been in the trade for 34 years. I've installed 3 home units. I think it's expensive. So, but yeah, we'll do those as well.
For that charity work.
Yeah, so the other thing we do, not tied into our education program, but we have a Lift for a Vet program. It started in Philadelphia, so I can't take credit for it, but we will install a stair lift for any veteran free of charge. Our guys will go out and we do a golf outing that we fundraise for, to pay for the materials. We have a company, a Amerilift, that gives us a pretty really reasonable price on the lifts to help us stretch our money. And then the guys volunteer their own time to go out and put them in. As a matter of fact, I'm going to a house Saturday. A veteran was hit on Thanksgiving and lost his leg. So I'm going to her house we're trying to have that installed before he comes home from the hospital. He's still in the hospital.
Would you do that for a spouse as well?
Yes, we do. Because we do it for the veteran, but if the spouse uses it, we're okay with that. So yes, because eventually the veteran will use it as well, is the odds.
Any other questions?
No, that's great.
Well done.
So you listed things you want done. They're not in any order. I mean, the roof is already done.
Yeah, many of the things are completed.
The roof and windows we did, and then the doors and the fencing and security system and some upgrades to the classrooms. We've been kind of biding our time here to see how we make out here and to do those upgrades, but we did the roof.
Okay, I just saw the list here. So it looks like exterior doors, fence, and security system.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Those are the portions of the project that haven't been completed yet, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm Gary Yinger. I'm the business manager of Local 143 here in Harrisburg. Electricians Union. We've been here since next year will be 110 years. So we've been here a while. We have 500 members.
Whoa, wait a minute. When did Ben Franklin invent it? We say 110 years?
Yeah, our anniversary is next year, 110 years.
That's pretty cool.
It's actually the longest continually operated business in the city of Harrisburg is them.
Oh, wow. Have had fun.
Are you gonna be on Jeopardy?
I know little facts. I've been working with these guys for a long time.
That's like the second or third thing you've said this evening, like one of these little fact things. I kind of just like blew me away. I'm sorry.
Sure, sure. All right, I'll take it from there. I can do it. It's okay. Thank you. Located in the city of Harrisburg, they have 85 apprentices right now, 93 active members living in Dauphin County total, about 500 union members total, 74 retirees living in Dauphin County. This is a 5-year apprenticeship program, just like Elevator Local 59, and they get benefits and pay on day one. What did they do? Provide a Class A certified apprenticeship program to the residents of 11 different Pennsylvania counties. So smaller footprint, larger amount of members than the previous organization. The training center was located in Perry County, and that is actually off of, it happened in 2017. It burned down, and they relocated it to Harrisburg. They bought an old movie theater on State Street, building that I don't know what it would be if it hadn't been purchased by then. Probably vacant, but redid it and turned it into a training center. And the whole idea was to sort of get into the community and draw members from the community, get folks that can walk there. So the objective of their grant application, which is for $75,000, roof repairs to the training center, upstairs classroom renovations, and then parking lot renovations as well. You know what? I'm not keeping up with the slides. I'm sorry. Current apprenticeship class is the largest in the 109-year history of the organization. So just like the elevator constructors, they've gone out and recruited more members just because of what we're seeing in the pipeline from an economic standpoint. A lot of data centers, a lot of things going on in this area that are going to require them to have more members. And then get it to work here. There we go. So these are the modular classrooms. You see the conduit on the walls, teaching them how to bend conduit, how to run wire. Huge part of it, making everything look perfect. And then up on the upper right-hand corner, this is the upstairs classroom, which is sort of
So the whole upstairs is split up into rooms. Okay. It was a place for battered women, so that's why there's the upstairs were apartments. We ended up buying it from them, renovating the downstairs and now the upstairs, because of the classrooms and things we want to do. We're going to demo the upstairs, except load-bearing walls, and put in classrooms up there as well. So.
That was the Shalom House, though, wasn't it? I can't remember the name.
I don't remember the name, but it was for that equipment.
Yeah, it's set up sort of as residential use right now, but converting it to classrooms is the objective. And then the parking lot renovations, Gary, you want to tell them what you want to do to the parking lot?
So when you pull in the parking lot there, it's hard to see because of the snow and whatnot, but there's a drain in the center. So when you come in, it's hard to get in and out, it's hard to see coming out on State Street. So we're gonna raise that up so it's more easily accessible in and out, again, on and off State Street. So we got it fenced in the back and fenced in along State Street as well. So we want to raise that box up.
It's called Harrisburg Electrician.
Thank you.
So yeah, and there were some questions as to other grants that they were pursuing that, I don't know where that came from. They're not pursuing any of the grants at this time.
We are not. We do a lot of work at all the major hospitals here in Harrisburg, East Shore, West Shore, Hershey Foods. We just completed a big project down there. The Med Center, the Forum. We've got a big project coming up 3 Mile Island. So over the last 2 years, in 2022, usually our man hours are around 600,000 man hours a year. In 2022, they went up to 670,000, and then last year they went up to 885,000 man hours that we've done here in Southern Pennsylvania. So you can see that we need apprentices. We pull them from all the VOTECs, Dauphin County, Cumberland Perry, Franklin County, Lebanon. Some of the schools are using our program in their current schools, so they get a head start on the apprentices. We roughly have 100 people apply. We take applications the first Monday of every month, and then they have to sit down and we take a class once a year, but they have to sit down and do an aptitude test, which is reading, writing, arithmetic. Have to have 1 year complete and pass of algebra, have a current and valid driver's license. And then they get sent out to work. They work with their hands during the day and go to school at night. The first year is due. So the second, third, fourth, and fifth, they go to school 1 day a week for 8 hours every other week. So they're here in Harrisburg then. So they're roughly, they go to school from September to beginning of June every year. So then they have a break in the summer.
Okay.
So you take a class and go through the whole 5 years, every 5 years they graduate, or every year you start about a different?
So first, every year we have a new starting class, and then they'll go 5 years, but we have a 5-year apprenticeship program.
Okay.
So this year we took 20. Next year we'll probably take 30. But yeah, that's how we get our numbers up to almost 90. And then we organize kids in during the year as well. So from all walks of life, our school looks like the city of Harrisburg, honestly. We have a lot of females. The females are the ones that actually end up being foremen. They're very detailed, which is great. Like Heim Electric here in Harrisburg, almost every female that they had as apprentice has been a foreman. So things work out well for everybody.
So you're getting some more languages in as students?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Good.
Thank you much. Good luck to y'all.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Good to see you all.
Out of sorts. Is it one left? Yeah.
Are we doing what?
We did.
Late? One slot.
I don't get dinner, dessert.
Here.
You're trying to kill me, aren't you? Right.
No, I'm just like.
My diabetic medication's not working.
How are you?
It's a nice attempt, though. Good for you.
That wasn't it at all. Is it just you, George?
It's just me.
I want gaming grant money to open up a ambulance company. And a fire truck company. It's amazing how much
Were you listening?
backlog.
Were you listening earlier?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have no life.
All right. Well, certainly appreciate you arriving on time there.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, heavens, give me a minute, please. All right. Do you want me to give you the entire spiel there, Mr. Connors, that you know that we are being live streamed? You have approximately 30 minutes. Please project your voice, identify yourself, who you're with, your request amount, and you know that the mic is that way. But whenever you're ready, sir.
Thank you, sir. My name is George Connor. This evening, I'm the Executive Director of the Dauphin County Industrial Development Authority. Our request is for $150,000 towards our small business loan program. And this request was basically based off of existing and future grant applicants that were denied in the for-profit world. We kind of were trying to redesign the program a little bit and wanted to try to assist some of these companies that possibly may were declined an award and see whether they were eligible to apply to our loan program. This loan program was started back in, I think, 2003, 2004 when I started. Dauphin County became a participating jurisdiction and an entitlement community. And at that time, we had about over 250,000 residents, which qualified us as a PJ and entitlement community. So our funding came directly from the federal government, from HUD. Rather, we didn't have to apply to the state DCD for our CDBG dollars. At that time, there was a pot of money left over from the state. The federal government did not want the dollars, the state didn't want them back. So we created this loan program to basically assist loan applicants that couldn't get a loan from a private bank or institution. Maybe the credit score was bad, maybe the business that they wanted to set up just wouldn't qualify for a private loan. So that's why we created this program, and we took riskier clients that, like I said, wouldn't get qualified for a commercial bank or community bank or whatever it may be. So we kind of got creative with our collateral and security for the individuals. Some of the loans we did what's called a UCC loan equipment. So basically we would hold a lien against the equipment until the loan was paid off. And some of these people had, like I said, low credit scores. They never would have got a loan at a private bank. So we were able to help them start their business and be successful in that aspect. So that's kind of what this loan program is and a request. And we'll evaluate the non-awarded applicants as they come up with our loan committee.
How quickly do you think you'll go through this 150 if you were to get it?
That will depend on the request. once we go through the gaming cycle, I think it ends in April, the awards will go out. We'll evaluate the non-awarded applicants and see who potentially has the ability to qualify for a loan. And then we'll evaluate them then, and it's based off of how much they apply for. Normally, we stay in a range of under $100,000. We're kind of like a micro loan program, which is really 25 to 50. We've done some $100,000 loans, but not many. So we'll probably in that 25 to 50,000 range. I may want to recommend to the board to keep them under 25 so we can stretch out to 150,
Thank you.
depending on the request. Thank you.
When did you say this was started?
I think 04, 05. I started in 02. I think it was like a year or two, because the year I started, we became a PJ in 2002, if I'm not mistaken, because like I said, Dauphin County went over the 250,000 residential population mark. We were under that, so we couldn't receive funding directly from HUD for the CDBG and home programs, which I administered at the time. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So I would see, once these monies get repaid, where does that money then go?
It goes back into the loan fund. It's a revolving loan fund, so money in, money out.
Okay.
How do you establish interest rates? You do a set or you?
Yeah, it's based off of, we base them off of prime. If prime is 6.5, 7, we usually are between like 3 and 5-ish. It all depends on the securities that the applicant supplies us with, whether it's a lien against their personal house or an equipment lien for a fixed equipment, whatever it may be. That's how it's based, and credit score as well too. Just like a bank, no like a bank.
Has there been any, so we generally hear the success stories. Has there been any not so?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, we took riskier loans.
Yeah.
So we had some defaults that, we're still trying to recapture those dollars, so
It happens.
it happens.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you're taking riskier loans
Yeah.
like that, it's,
Well, I think that's why this program is what it is. But so with that being said, is it more prone, have you seen more success stories than non-success? I guess would be a better question.
I would say, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would say probably 60-40-ish, because what happened was we had some board members change, and we had a banker on board at the time. So he wanted to be a little bit more secured with the loans that we were taking. So we stopped taking more riskier loans when he was on a board, because he was assisting me on the committee to evaluate the loans and help me with the underwriting of the loans. And when we did that, we got more A+ loans, I would say. People would apply to our program for the interest rate, but we would get that money back so we could flip them over and do more loans. So we haven't taken many more riskier loans. We'll still take them, but we evaluate them per request.
What's your payback?
5 years. We do a max of 5. We don't go out on 5 on the AM schedule, because we want to get the money back in.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Do you always just give one lump sum, or is it, go out in increments?
No, one lump sum.
I'm good.
All right. Thank you much.
Hopefully this program will help some people that,
Yeah.
are on the bubble for an award and can get a business started, whatever it may be, so.
Where's most of it go? Restaurants, construction?
Yeah, wide variety of things. I mean, it could be renovations for affordable housing, restaurants. We've done a couple restaurants, truck repair services, bakeries,
Manicure,
coffee shops.
manicure.
I think we have done a
I
beauty
think we
salon.
did
Yeah,
a beauty
we've done a
salon.
beauty salon. I think
Okay.
we have years ago. Yeah. Stores, dollar stores, stuff. It's a wide range of different requests. Because we don't promote our programs. I know you guys had some marketing questions. Most of our, I would say mostly all of our programs are oversubscribed. Obviously, you guys know this program is CDBG, home. All of our programs, we have way more applicants than we do dollar amounts to loan, to grant out and loan out as well, so.
Well, thank you much, sir.
Thank you. You guys have a good night, and thank you for your volunteer services to the board. We appreciate it.
And then I guess with the cancellation of Rush, not being able to attend, you moved the one applicant up. And the other application from Dauphin County has been withdrawn, so we are finished for the night.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great.
That's
Thank you.
a surprise.
Jim, you said you were watching this somewhere. Is it better?
It's better, but it's still hard.